Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to today's video. I'm so excited to be sharing my journey with the Cosmelan facial. It's a chemical peel and I've done a little bit of a video diary for you. So just documenting when I actually had the mask applied and then the first 30 days afterwards. It's a process that will take about 12 months with the aftercare. Following the initial mask, so I'm doing it obviously not in one great big video because the video will be a few hours long, but I'm breaking it down. So this is my first video of me having it done and up to a month afterwards. So I really hope you enjoy today's video. So if you want a sneak peek of before and after, this is the current results. Now, I just want to say this video isn't sponsored in any way. I have paid for the treatment myself. I'm not going to go into specifics exactly how much it is because I know different salons and people that run this treatment do charge slightly different prices. I will say it's not the cheapest of things to have done, so you are going to be looking at the hundreds of pounds for the facial. So it's definitely an investment. I am really glad I had it done because it has targeted my pigmentation, and now I just have to be really religious in the aftercare so that I don't obviously go backwards in my treatment. But yeah, so far so good. I'm really happy with the results, and let's jump into my video diary.
I'm kinda new with apologies. Holding back, I got history. Never cut it right, but somehow you make me change. Like I'm better off with like I'm better off with kinda used to these battlegrounds. Stick around, no. But the way you've been giving me time, oh.
So the time is now 3 o'clock, so it's been about 5 hours since I've had the mask on. I'm just going to come close up. So it looks dry, but it's actually not. So if I touch it, it isn't dry, so it's not drying like a typical mask would. And I don't know if you can see there, although it's dry, it's still stained onto the skin. So what Crystal said was just to spritz it with a bit of water and just try and pop it down, because we want it to stay on for the full 10 hours, well, as close to the 10 hours we can, so it's obviously got a chance to really work in. But I actually feel crazy sat here talking to you like this. So yeah, this is how we're looking. Pain wise, it's not been uncomfortable. I can feel it, so it feels more like a tingly cold feeling around here. I had that earlier on, but it's kind of gone away from there. It does feel a little bit tight, but again, not like a typical mask feeling where it's really tight. So yeah, totally bearable. I can't believe I've had this on for 5 hours and I drove home like it. I did get a fair few looks, but it's okay, we do what we do. So yeah, I'll check in with you a little bit later, hopefully just after I wash it off, and I can show you what my skin looks like immediately afterwards. And then obviously I'll check in with you tomorrow as well, and I'm hoping to do like a progression. So obviously if you're thinking about getting this done, you know kind of what to expect, because I didn't know. I've just kind of obviously gone on the recommendation of Crystal that it would be fab for my skin and obviously my skin concerns. But yeah, just going to keep like a bit of a video diary, so I'll check in with you a bit later. Hey guys, oh, I was hoping it wouldn't look as crazy as this, but it's okay. So this is the next day. So last night after 10 hours I washed the mask off just with some cool water and just like a washcloth. And I'll try and insert some pictures because I've been taking pictures all along so when I took it off, you could see there were slight red patches, but obviously it didn't look anything like this. And then once I'd done that, I was sent home with this little pack with some instructions. It's really good actually, because it tells you inside if you forget, because it's quite a lot of information to take in. So I knew exactly what I needed to do once I washed that off. So basically, once I'd washed that off, I put nothing else on my face other than the Melan, however you pronounce it, recovery, and I put quite a thick layer of that on as it instructed for me to sleep in. And then I could actually feel my skin was so hot overnight. So when I woke up this morning, I was a little bit anxious to see what it looked like. I feel like this is giving a good representation, but I feel like it is a lot redder than it is coming off on camera. So if you can imagine what you're seeing, but just add more redness on to that. I'm quite swollen as well, because I feel like you can't really see any definition between my cheek and my jaw. Normally I've got a little bit of this, but I don't have that. It feels a little bit sore and stingy to touch. So what I've done this morning is I have just used another new face cloth with some cooler water. I've just gently put that on because my skin does feel a little bit sensitive, like I don't obviously want to be dragging anything. I've used a small amount of the whitening cleansing, which I was using as part of my pre-treatment, and then all I've put on once I've done that again is the same recovery cream. And then this morning I've also added on the Pigment Control SPF. Hey everybody, so I'm just quickly popping on. I wasn't going to do an update today just because I didn't think there was much change from yesterday, but I've actually seen quite a lot of peeling today. I'm going to come really close, so apologies because I'm actually scaring myself at this point, but this will give you a really good indication of the redness as well, and it's also picking up the pigment lines. And then if I come up to at the top, so you can see my eyes are really puffy. Can you see that there? So much swelling, and also the same on my forehead, because if I touch my forehead like this, it almost feels as though I'm touching a cushion. So there's so much fluid. So yeah, today has not been the greatest in terms of, I mean, it's not been unbearable, but it's definitely a little bit uncomfortable. The only thing that I can say, which is a good thing at the moment, is we're wearing masks because of obviously what's going on. So obviously quite a lot of my face is hidden and the weather's super cold, so I've had my hat on. So all you've literally been able to see today is my eyes. But other than nipping out to work, I haven't been anywhere else. So yeah, I just thought I would really quickly pop on and give you an update. And I will hop on tomorrow and update you of what it's like when I wake up. But yeah, it's about 25 to 7 in the evening, so obviously I've been through the whole of today. So today is day 2 since I've taken it off. So obviously day 3 since it's been applied, but it's literally been 2 days since I almost removed the mask. Okay. Hopefully, I am minus my tripod today, so I'm just balancing you on my drawers. But good morning. I wanted to check in. As you can see, the big flake has started. Let me just lower this a minute so you can hopefully, so that's making my face look a little bit red. Hold on. There, that's a bit more like it. So I haven't yet washed my face this morning. I'm just about to do that, but I just wanted to pop on really quickly so you can see like what it's like as soon as I get up. So if I show you here, so this is my forehead. So obviously it doesn't look very attractive in the morning, but you can see just how much we're peeling right now. All on my nose, and then just around my jaw is peeling quite a lot as well. So what I started yesterday is the Cosmelan 2 cream. I'll just show you what it looks like. So I had to wait until, oh, what day was it? It was a good couple of days after the actual cream came off before I could start using this. And I use this 3 times a day for the first month, and then it will reduce down to twice a day from month 2. It actually looks very similar to the mask that was put on, but obviously you just rub it into your face, so it's like that sort of consistency. So I started it yesterday, as I said, so I did it in the morning, then I had to head out to work, so then I did it sort of later in the afternoon, then I had a shower, wash my hair, and then I did it then before I went to bed. So I don't think you have to be like morning, lunchtime, bedtime. I think as long as it goes on 3 times a day with a reasonable gap between, I think that is fine. But yeah, this is how we're looking. The swelling has gone down, you can probably tell, because I was rubbing the creams in before and it was the weirdest sensation, because I was rubbing it and it felt like I was rubbing like a waterbed. It was so like there was so much fluid under, but it feels, it's still quite tight to like open my mouth and like frown and things like that, but I have got more movement in my skin now. It was extremely tight before. But yeah, I just thought I would update you this morning. You can still see my pigments there. So the cream that we're introducing now is going to continue to target the pigments. So obviously the peeling now is really working to get under the pigmentation. So yeah, I will check in with you either later today or tomorrow. Hey everybody, so I'm trying to remember the last update. I can't remember because I've been filming little bits and then popping it all onto like a video, but I thought I would pop on today. So today is day 7, so it's officially 1 week since I had the initial mask on my face. I haven't done an update for the past couple of days, and I just really quickly will fill you in. I've struggled a little bit. It's been very, very, very painful. There's been a few tears. So yeah, although I know I'm very aware how crazy the difference in colour is, I've got no fake tan or anything on, so obviously my complexion is very, very pale, especially in the winter. We don't see much sun here in the UK. So yeah, this is my natural skin tone. Today is day 7. So on Sunday, no, I can't remember what day it was, but one day over the weekend I'd have introduced the Cosmelan 2 cream that I'm supposed to pop on 3 times a day. And basically what I found, it was fine for the first day or so, and then after I put it on, anything that I was putting on my face, so like the Melasma recovery, the fast skin repair, my face felt like it was on fire again. It was a bit like the following day. I felt I had ice packs in like a little towel on my face. I didn't know what to do with myself. I ended up just taking myself to bed and to fall to sleep. And then I've been struggling a little bit. The skin peeling has been very extreme. I'll show you, I'll give you a close up in a minute. It's not as bad today, although you'll still see some peeling. I mean, it's been a lot worse. But I just think you have to just get through that initial stage. Obviously, because of the peeling, we're dealing with very new skin, and then we're putting the products on to target the pigmentation. So yeah, it's been a process. Obviously, I'm still very, very red after a week. I'm fully expecting the redness to continue. I'm just going to shift back a second and go into a more natural light, so hopefully it will show you. There we go. So you can still see a lot of peeling here around my hairline. Can you see that on my eyes? Here on my chin is quite bad, and you can see the skin is very textured, and you can see it is actually still inflamed and red. So yeah, I just wanted to do an update on day 7. Obviously, I probably won't pop on every single day, but I just think it's important to give you gradual updates throughout the process. I'm planning on this initial video being from when I had it applied up to a month after, and then I'll continue a follow-up video from that. But this is after 1 week. If I come like this, you can see it as well. So yeah, I will check in with you when I've got another update. Hey everybody, so I've just washed my face. Today is day 12. So day 12 from when I had it on. It was on for 10 hours and I've washed it off. So day 12 of the whole process. My skin actually today is feeling really tight now because I've literally just cleansed it with the, oh, let me go and grab it and I'll show you. So I've just cleansed with the brightening foam. So this I had in my introductory pack with like the skin prep with the other serums. So I've been using this for quite a few weeks now. So I've just cleansed, I've not done anything else, and my skin is feeling really tight. But I thought I would give you a really quick update and then just show you what my skincare routine currently is. It hasn't changed since I've started the process after the mask, so it's been the same, but I just thought I'd pop on today because I'm seeing quite a lot of improvements in my skin. So if I just come a bit closer, it's still very dry here. It's still quite red. The redness has died down from what it was, but obviously you can see there is still quite a big difference, but I'm hoping that I'm starting to turn a corner with my skin, because I thought it was getting better and then it kind of just flared up again and was so painful. But today, fingers crossed, we're moving a corner into recovery. So I'm just starting off with Cosmelan 2, the cream. I don't think there's a set order in which you do it. When my skin was really sore, I would always start off with the Melasma Recovery. But I just thought I would start off with this one today. So about a pea, sorry, I'm just actually realised I was flipping you off then. About a pea-sized amount, and then I try and just get it on the back of my nail because it goes under my nails. It's really difficult to get out. And then I pop a little bit on each cheek. I don't put as much on my chin because the skin is still, you can see there, it's still quite broken and it's very sore. So just like so, and then I just very gently rub this in. Try not to pull on my skin too much. My skin feels so much tighter than previous, so hoping that that stays, because that is something that I wanted to target as well, just the fine lines that obviously we get with aging. Just trying to really gently not rub too hard because I don't want to pull any. I'm very aware there's a lot of dead and dry skin there, but I didn't want to take it off just yet. I want to make sure it's really healed underneath, because I think that's what happened there, and obviously it's then very sore. So I'm just going to let that sit for a minute, pop the lid back on, and then we'll do the other two steps. So next up, I'm just popping on the Melasma Recovery. I just take an amount about that sort of size. I'll dispense it between my fingers, and then I just start by just pushing it on, just to try and make sure that I'm getting it all across. That would help fast focus. So I just pop it between my fingers and I'm just pushing it on to start with, just so I'm not pulling it skin. I'm just making sure I get around here because I've got quite a lot of dry skin there. Just bring it down onto my neck. And then I'm just going in sort of like an upward motion, which is what I would usually do with my creams. So again, not taking too much of the moisture away, just really letting that sit on the skin. Popping a little bit more just around my eyes because they are so dry, and I was told just to stop all of my other skincare that I was doing, and I've got like a separate eye cream that I like to pop on, and there isn't like a separate eye cream with this. Not that you have the cream anywhere near your eye, the mask I mean on your eye, but still my eyelids are very sore, so that's starting to tingle a little bit now in my eyes. See where the skin is that much more delicate. So I've done that, and then I am just going to pop a little bit of the Fast Skin Repair on as well. I don't necessarily feel like the skin needs a bit, it's just mainly around my chin because I have still got quite a lot of dry skin. So I'm going to pop a little bit of that on, and then we'll pop our sun protection on. So this is quite a thick consistency, so you don't need much of this at all. Very thick, so I just kind of again dispense that between my fingers, and then I'll just push it on around my nose actually because it's quite burnt there. Burnt, I've got quite a lot of dry skin, I mean, sorry. Rub that in. And I'm just going to let that soak. So I can feel the skin kind of balling up where it's obviously dead, and will come off later when I cleanse again. So while that's sitting, I'm also, once that's dried in, I'm going to pop my sun protection on. So I have to put this on every 2 hours if I'm going outdoors, if I'm going near the window, obviously in front of the TV, computers, phones. It all gives off kind of damaging rays to our face. So what I like to do, I'm not really a fan of tinted sunscreen, so when I go back for my checkup, I am going to see if they've got a different option in like a clear or just the white, because the tone of that just doesn't match me, and it doesn't go in, it doesn't change with my skin tone. So again, it stings my hands quite a lot as well, so I pop it on the back of my hands. Now I'm just keeping a brush separate that I'm not using in my makeup, and I'll just wash it out every couple of days. So I'm just getting a little bit on there, and then I'm just stippling it all over. So can you see how dark that is? And obviously you can see that my complexion is very fair, so when my redness goes down, I can imagine this isn't going to match anything. So yeah, you can see from the back of my hand, that's the kind of colour that is left my skin. So once it's all on, I'm just gonna rub it in and just make sure I cover, not forget my neck. It's probably not gonna match my neck at all, is it? Let's have a look. I'm just dragging it all the way down so I can kind of blend it. So I'm hoping now, fingers crossed, if my skin does start to continue with its recovery, the redness dies down, and we go back to my usual fair complexion. But yeah, the sunscreen does dry in very well. It doesn't leave the skin tacky, which is nice, because I don't like that with a sunscreen. But I just have to get used to applying this every 2 hours. I haven't really been going out, obviously currently, because we're in the middle of a lockdown, so I haven't really been leaving the house, but I am popping this on a good few times a day. And then obviously I'm still at the moment popping the Cosmelan on 3 times, so I am cleansing twice as well. So yeah, that's how we're looking with the sunscreen on. So see, I've got this jumper on so I can pull it up, so excuse the colour difference. But yeah, I'll check in with you at the 2-week mark and we'll see what other improvements we've got. Good morning guys, I hope you can see me okay. I just thought I would pop, oh there we go, that's better. I just thought I would pop on and give you my 2-week update. So it's officially been 2 weeks since I had the mask applied, and obviously I've been working with the aftercare. So as you can see, we're still working with a two-tone. Look, I'm just a naturally very fair person, so I have been putting fake tan on my neck, but yeah, I never really look very tanned. So yeah, this is what we're working with. I mean, I've got my workout clothes on, so when I go out, it's super cold here, so I've been wearing roll neck, so it's not really that noticeable. But yeah, really happy. A massive, massive improvement. I thought I was never going to get to this this phase where I wouldn't be in pain, but obviously you can see it's still red, but can you see how smooth the texture of my face is? I have had a breakout there, and I had one there which was quite painful, but other than that, nothing. And I don't suffer with acne, but I suffer with hormonal breakouts. Obviously, like that time of the month I usually get a few breakouts, which I haven't had. So yeah, it seems to be turning a corner, and I'm so impressed with the like smoothness of my skin. It just looks really flawless. I'm gonna pop the camera, so I'm gonna try and keep my hands still, but if I give you a close-up, can you see how smooth it is? I have got still some flake in here, a little bit here and here. I mean, this time of year the weather isn't helping, because it's super cold, so my face does always go a little bit dry this time of year. But I've just been sticking to the skincare. I think I missed one day when I didn't put 3 lots of the Cosmelan 2 on. I put it on twice, just because it was so sore around here. So I just did it morning and night, but since then I've been putting it on 3 times a day, making sure I've got my my sun care, sorry, the sunscreen on, because that's so important even though it's cold, to protect from the UV. So I've got 2 more weeks of 3 times a day, and then we go down to twice a week. So I probably won't pop on between now and week 3, so I'll come back and update you when it's week 3. But yeah, so far massive improvement. And I've got a few patches there still. If I tip this way, can you see? I've got one there, and I've got a little one there, and a tiny shadow there. But from what I can see, obviously it's still quite red, so it's hard to tell, but from what I can see, the pigment that I had around here has completely gone. I'll try and pop in, if I haven't already, the before and after so far. So from before I had the application to this point, so you can see the difference, and I'll try and do that because it's really good to compare. So yeah, that's it for week 2. Hey everybody, it is finally week 3. I thought I would give you just a really quick update. Not much has changed, to be honest, since last week. I feel like the redness is slightly lighter. Obviously there's still a colour difference. The routine I've been doing is exactly the same, so I'm still applying the Cosmelan 2-3 times a day, using the same cleanser and the other Melasma Recovery and the, so I'm looking over here because this is where my skincare is, and the Fast Skin Repair. So nothing new to update you skincare wise. But yeah, I had, I don't know if I mentioned it, I had a couple of breakouts, but they have now gone. But touch wood, other than those 2, I've not had a single break. I'm touching wood because I went through a big phase of my skin being really bad this time last year. But yeah, so it's been 3 weeks and I've not had any other breakouts other than these 2, and obviously there's nothing left. They've just marked the skin, so I'm hoping that will fade. But yeah, my skin feels really super tight. It actually feels really smooth as well. Obviously there's still a few patches, as you can see there. So I spoke with, it's a little bit awkward because we're currently in a lockdown at the moment. So obviously everything that's non-essential is closed. So I've been keeping in regular contact with the lady who did my facial and sending regular updates of the skin, and what she said is there are going to be some patches that are just a little bit more stubborn to go. So the majority of them, I think, I'm confident they have gone, but that's a mark from my breakout, so ignore that. But this here is definitely a pigmentation mark. So she said obviously we'll just keep targeting this with the Cosmelan 2, and when we are allowed back out again, I'm going to go and visit her. But she said what we can also do is we can like spot target an area if it's not gone. Hi everybody, so today is my last update for this video, and today is the day that I step down to twice a day. So I thought I would just leave it till the end to show you how my skin is looking after 30 days of treatment, and then the treatment coming off, and then the post aftercare skin routine. So I'm going to come up close. I've got you on the tripod today so there's no wobbling around. So let me just come up close first of all. So what I've noticed, so all I've got on my face is my eyebrows. I've just penciled in, and I've got some mascara on my eyes because I've been to work and it just makes me feel a little bit better. I've not yet worn makeup on my face. Now we need to talk about my neck because my neck looks absolutely crazy. I stupidly, I don't know why I did it, but when I was popping my Cosmelan 2 cream on one night, I obviously wasn't paying attention and just started dragging it all down my neck like I would used to do with all my other skincare, because I would always bring it down my neck, and because that didn't ever have any treatment on, it's kind of started a peel on my neck. So I made that mistake once and it's healing from there. So I know it looks awful, but it's not painful or anything anymore. Hence why I've got a high roll neck on. So we'll just excuse my neck, we'll just pay attention to my face. So what I've noticed today is the skin around my mouth is extremely tight. So it's like I've gone through another phase of shedding, which is obviously totally normal. So up here looks amazing. It's still slightly red, but what you can see where I'm not rubbing the Cosmelan 2 cream into my hairline, which I've now started to do, you can still see some of my pigmentation there. So now what I've started to do when I pop it on is just take it right into my hairline, which I wasn't not doing it for any reason, just the fact that I obviously didn't want to get my hair all greasy. But yeah, I need to make sure I'm doing that because you can see a difference. But if I bring you a bit closer, this is what I'm talking about with my mouth. So it's like we're going through like a shedding phase, and it's kind of gone like a weird colour. Now that could be the sunscreen obviously attaching to my skin. But yeah, so this is after 30 days. Now, what I am planning on doing going forward is, instead of doing like weekly updates, I mean, obviously I will come on weekly if there's a huge update, but what I am planning on doing is doing like maybe a month update, because now from month 2 and 3, sorry, is that right? Yeah, month 2 and 3, I'm going to be using the Cosmelan 2 twice a day, and then I think from month 4 it steps down to once a day, but I'll double check that. I'm going to list everything down below. I was going to come on and talk to you about the whole Cosmelan facial process, its benefits, etc. But what I'm going to do, so that I don't get anything wrong, because obviously I didn't do this to myself, I've gone to have this done, I'm going to leave the link below. So obviously if you are interested, you can research it on the Cosmelan website and just read all about it, the process, etc. But I just wanted to create this video so I could kind of show you week by week, step by step, what happens and what your face goes through, because I'd never watched any of these videos before. And when I've gone online and read reviews, I was kind of under the impression that the first 2 weeks you go through like a whole shedding process, and then afterwards your skin is like glowing and amazing. Don't get me wrong, my skin, I can see the effects already, and it looks amazing, but the healing process is a lot longer than I thought it would be. So as we can see, I am still dealing with skin peeling. Obviously this is my fault here, but there is no way I could wear any makeup or anything on my skin. It's just gonna look horrendous and stick to all this dry skin, and just it will probably look a lot worse than what it does if I just leave it natural. So I'm hoping that my skin continues to calm and the redness completely goes, and then I've got obviously a similar complexion. But yeah, that's going to be it for this update. So I hope you found this video interesting. If there's any questions that you want to ask me, just leave it down below. I'll do my best to answer. As I said, this isn't something I've done on myself. I am not trained in this whatsoever. I'm obviously just a paying client that's had this done, and I was just sharing obviously what it's done to me, how I feel, how I've reacted, and just my experience with the Cosmelan facial. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. I hope you'll consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everybody.
Something in me that says it's fine.